This lunation is going to affect our ego, our ability to take action. Most people are going to be taking action and think about their actions later. Most people don't have any F's left to give. This is the boiling point. This is the point of decay, ending, and culmination. There is no going back after this point. So if agreements that you have with other people are no longer in agreement or serving you or your future, they're not working out to your advantage, or you simply just don't agree with them anymore, this lunation is going to bring those agreements to an ending. Mars, the ruler of this lunation, is just not sitting around. He's being pushed by Pluto, so there will be some type of transformation. Mercury is also transiting the sign of Scorpio. He just entered the sign of Scorpio, and Mercury conjunct Mars is definitely an aspect of harsh words, fighting words. Expect this lunation to be highly charged and emotional. You're going to find the courage to speak up for yourself, take decisive action, do what you have to, and let go of whatever needs to be let go, because the South Node is also activated somehow because of Venus transiting the sign of Virgo, where we just had the Venus South Node conjunction. And I'm mentioning Venus because Venus rules Libra, where the Sun is currently transiting. There are a lot of aspects that are being activated at this lunation. It's highly charged, and it's certainly going to bring out some type of transformation in the area of Aries and Libra, our relationship axes. Where is this happening in your chart? Leave me a comment below this video. Let me know how you think this is going to work out according to your own natal placements. And as always, if you need further guidance, book me at rachel-mayo.com. Hello YouTube, my name is Rachel Mayo. Welcome to my channel and thank you for being here. If you're new to my channel and you've not yet subscribed, please hit subscribe. Also make sure to leave me a comment under this video. Commenting and liking, sharing really helps my channel grow, and it doesn't cost anything. I'm going to be discussing the Aries full moon that is happening tomorrow, October 6th at around 11:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is New York time, so please make sure you're checking the time for your own location in order to get the correct ascendant. They're calling this the harvest moon because it's going to be the brightest moon of the year. I've already seen it outside. It looks huge. This is a culmination point where we cut our losses. In the Aries-Libra axis, wherever is not working, this is the time to release it. Aries-Libra axis is the axis of the self and the other, the first house and the seventh house. These are both angle houses. And whenever we have a lunation in the angle houses, it impacts all of us intensely. Aries is a cardinal sign. The cardinal signs begin the seasons. They bring change in our life. This means that it will be a time to move away from things that have not been working in your life. Either you're going to cut people off or they're going to cut you off. It's time to take action. I'm going to encourage you to listen to the entire introduction of this video, because whatever I talk about in the introduction, I will not repeat this for the ascendant sign reading. And if you need further guidance to understand how this energy is going to impact you personally, I suggest that you book a reading with me at rachel-mayo.com. I'm still running the discount of $30 off a reading. You can use this coupon twice. Book now, it's a limited time offer. I want to give a big thank you to all the people that bought readings and used this coupon. I appreciate you supporting my business. I'm still running the contest for a free solar return chart reading with me. All you have to do to enter this contest is subscribe to my channel, like this video, share this video, and comment free solar in the comment section of this video. That will get you in the contest. I will be choosing 3 lucky winners on the next lunar video. You can comment as many times as you like. Make me notice you. What is a full moon? A full moon is when the sun and the moon oppose each other. They reach a culmination in their cycle. Let's explore the Aries energy. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. This is the ascendant, the self, the body, how other people see you. And Libra on the other angle is the descendant. This is the other person in the relationship. This is the axis that is going to be activated at this lunation. The last time we had a new moon in the sign of Aries was about 6 months ago, and I believe it was a solar eclipse. We're now reaching the culmination of wherever we may have initiated at that time. So the themes that are going to be going on in our lives are going to have something to do with what we initiated 6 months ago. We have reached a culmination point. The seventh house rules over our deep commitments that we have with other people. These can be through a spouse, marriage, a business partnership, or anything that you deal with, anything that has to do with you and another person. The Libra sign, the seventh house, is the area where we negotiate, compromise, and listen to another person's point of view. You're going to be dealing with others and the agreements that you have made in the houses that Aries and Libra rule. This lunation is happening at 14 degrees of Aries. 14 degrees is the activated degree. Look in your chart to see what you have at 14 degrees of Aries and on the opposite side of 14 degrees of Libra. So who's going to be most impacted by this lunation? It is the cardinal signs. The cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. Aries, of course, is going to have the conjunction. It's in your sign, so you're going to feel this very personally. And Cancer is going to have a square aspect. The square aspect pushes us into taking action. So you may meet with some challenges and you have to take action. Libra is going to have the opposition. Libra is going to have to deal with other people, the agreements that you have with them. Somebody is going to be standing on the other side and opposing you. Capricorn is also going to feel the square aspect. The square aspect pushes you into taking action. It's a challenging aspect. But perhaps this is exactly what you need because you may have been procrastinating. This full moon is going to give you the courage to just do it. If you were born on or around the 6th of October, you're going to have this full moon in your solar return chart. This is going to be a spectacular year for you. This is one of the years that you're going to look back and remember as the year of conclusion. And as you know, whenever we conclude things, we have new beginnings. If it's your birthday, book a solar return chart reading with me at rachel-mayo.com. Aries is ruled by Mars. Mars is the planet of taking action. This is the area where we take action, we just do it. Many people are going to be put in a situation where they just have to do what they have to do, regardless of how other people feel. Mars is a fire planet, so it's going to get quite fiery and emotional for some people. Mars rules over our energy, our vitality, our sexual energy. It also rules over heavy metals, weapons. So perhaps there will be some type of decisive action around the world when it comes to things that Mars rules. The thing we have to really pay attention to at this Aries lunation is our ego. Make sure you're not acting just because of your ego. Ego is healthy, but sometimes it can be very destructive. So if you have a lot of fire placements in your chart, your ego may be triggered at this time. So be mindful of what you say to others and how you treat others, especially because of the aspects that the ruler of this lunation, Mars, is going to be making. Let's take a look at the chart of this lunation. The sun is at 14 degrees of Libra and the moon is at 14 degrees of Aries. This is an exact opposition of the luminaries, creating what we call a full moon. The ruler of this lunation is Mars, who's currently transiting the sign of Scorpio, and he's dominant in this sign because he rules this sign. There are no direct aspects to this lunation, but as you can see in this chart, there's a lot going on. So we have to look at what Mars is doing in the chart as he rules this lunation. Mars is still in a separating square to Pluto. This is really intense energy that can be really triggering in the houses that these two planets are traveling in your chart. And then we have Mercury, who is also transiting in the sign of Scorpio around 0 degrees of Scorpio. He just entered this sign, so he is just beginning his journey in the sign of in the house of secrets. Scorpio is the 8th house of the zodiac. It rules big money, other people's money, taxes, inheritances, financial windfalls, sexual secrets, because this is the house of sex, intimacy. and shared resources. We're going to see a lot of secrets revealed at this time. A lot of information, hidden information, is going to come out because the square from Mercury is the ruler of the South Node in Virgo, and square Pluto, transiting the sign of Scorpio, sign of secrets, hidden information, and all other 8th house issues. Square Pluto, the planet of transformation. Pluto is in Aquarius, the sign of the people. So something that has been hidden from the people is going to be revealed at the time of this lunar event. So if you have any secrets that you've been keeping, those secrets are probably going to be revealed at this time. I'm using this chart from astro.com because I want you to see this quincunx. Those are the green lines from Mercury to Neptune and Mercury to Uranus. The quincunx aspect is an aspect where two planets cannot communicate because they do not see each other. They share the same degree but cannot communicate. This means that there's a lot of information that is unusual, that is pushing to be revealed as a result of the square aspect. But at the same time, we will not be able to see the true meaning behind this information or its implication on our future. This chart is all over the place. This means that we'll be dealing with the lunation in the houses where we have Aries and Libra. There are so many things that are going to be activated at the same time. Things that have nothing to do with this axis, but more personally, because this has to do with you and the other person and the agreements that you have with the other person. And because the ruler of this lunation, Mars, is activated, we're going to feel very powerful and dominant and decisive in the actions that we're going to choose to take at this time. Venus rules the sign of Libra, where the moon is currently transiting, so it's important for us to look at what Venus is doing in the chart. This is important because this is the other sign in the opposition of the full moon. So we've looked at what Mars is doing, and now we're looking at what Venus is doing. And she's important because she's on the South Node and highlighting where we need to let go. Venus rules over the things that we love and value, our relationships, our money. What isn't working in your Virgo area? What do you need to let go and release? She's transiting in the sign of Virgo at 21 degrees of Virgo. She's separating from a conjunction with the South Node. Venus in the sign of Virgo is in detriment because she's exalted in the opposite sign of Pisces. This releasing can be done effortlessly because Venus rules the sign of Taurus. This is where Venus can see an aspect with a trine aspect. A trine aspect is a harmonious aspect which is going to help you do the releasing easily and effortlessly. And for some people, it would just be you concluding things that have been in your life for a long time and they've decayed, and it's just time to let them go. The other sign that Venus rules is Libra. Venus is not aspecting Libra because it is the sign next to it. There is no aspect between the houses next to each other because they cannot see what's going on in those houses. But Venus can see what's going on in the sign of Taurus, where Uranus is currently traveling retrograde. So this means that we're all looking back at the past, whether we like it or not. The other reason why this lunation is so complex is because of all the things that are being activated at the time of this lunation, and also because this lunation is not being aspected. That means that now we have to look at the ruler of this lunation and how it's aspecting important placements in the lunar chart. We're going to feel quite dominant, confident at the time of this lunation in taking action because Mars is the sign of just do it. But we also have to keep in mind that Mercury has just entered this area in the sign of Scorpio and is at around 041 degrees of Scorpio. She's just at the beginning of finding out what is really going on in this area, what has been hidden from us. Mercury is square Pluto. This aspect is going to reveal whatever has been hidden. And because Mercury is going to be moving in conjunction with the ruler of this lunation, Mars, people are going to get quite feisty. It could be verbally or physically, just depending on this depends on what these two planets rule in your chart. But be prepared for people to really say what they mean, to speak their truths on hidden issues, hidden information. Obviously, this is going to be quite triggering and confrontational for some people. So be mindful of what you're saying to others. Aries ascendant, sun or moon. This lunation is happening in your sign. This is the first sign of the zodiac, the ascendant. This lunation is going to be life-changing for you. And that's because an angle house is being activated, the ascendant, and thus activating the descendant, the angle across from you. This is very personal and intimate because it's about you and your relationship and your relationships with others. Relationships begins with the self and self-love. The full moon is happening in your first house. This is where you're going to have endings and culminations of whatever you may have initiated 6 months ago at the solar eclipse. If you began a process of self-transformation 6 months ago, this could be the time that you're reaching culmination. If you're working on yourself, if you're working on your body as far as weight loss, this could be the time that you're now seeing the results of working out or dieting. If it's been something that you've been working on and on a deep emotional level, perhaps mentally, this is the time when you're feeling confident, perhaps perhaps a boost to your self-esteem. Some of you could have been working on how you deal with others or how you want other people to see you in relationships. This could be an ending in how you deal with other people, who you are in your personal relationships or in your business partnerships. Perhaps you're making some changes and tweaks in the agreements that you have with others, or you're ending contracts with other people because you no longer have common goals. You're beginning to see things differently. Perhaps certain things that your partner did in a past agreement have been exposed and you're looking at things differently. Your ruling planet Mars is currently transiting the sign of Scorpio. He's dominant in this sign because he rules this sign. You're feeling quite confident and certain of the actions you're going to take. The square aspect from Mercury to Pluto may be highlighting or bringing up some of the secrets in your relationship or something to do with other people's money. I think this lunation is going to be quite positive for you, Aries, as long as you're willing to accept what has ended, look at what has been revealed, and take decisive action. It's time for a new chapter, a new self. Let whatever is expired and decayed fall away. And if you need further guidance, I suggest that you book a reading with me at rachel-mayo.com. Take advantage of the discount of $30 off 2 readings. Book now. This is a limited time offer. Taurus ascendant, sun or moon. This lunation is happening in your 12th house. This is the area where you're going to have culminations and endings. The 12th house is a hidden house. So some of you might actually not really feel this lunation, but just might have an inner knowing, a deeper sense that something is coming to an end. The 12th house rules over our hidden enemies. And sometimes our worst hidden enemy can be ourselves through self-sabotage. So this lunation may actually expose your hidden enemies or how you're sabotaging yourself in the area of the 12th house and the 6th house axes. What are you doing behind closed doors? Are you drinking too much? Are you doing drugs? Are you having unhealthy relationships with people who are unavailable? All these can have an impact on how you do your daily life, where the sun is your Libra area. It can have an impact on your physical health and your mental health. So perhaps some of you will be ending some really bad habits or toxic relationships. And I say toxic because the ruler of this lunation, Mars, is in square to Pluto. Mars and Pluto rule your relationship axis, the area of Scorpio. With Mercury transiting there also in square to Pluto, some unpleasant things or information may be released at this lunation. The 12th house also rules over spirituality, dreams. It's a house of rest. It also rules over our past generations, our past generations and the karma that these past generations leave with us. This karma is not karma that you earned. This is the karma of your forefathers. Some of you may be paying for the sins of past generations, and this is going to be highlighted at the time of this lunation. Some of you will cut ties with your past generation because you do realize that it's no longer your weight to carry in this lifetime. The 12th house also rules over far off foreign lands and spaces that we cannot see, but we know that they're there. Aliens and other galaxies, other entities. This is also the area where we can communicate with past generations because we can't see them, but subconsciously we can somehow receive messages from them psychically or through our dreams. Your ruling planet Venus is not aspecting this lunation. Venus rules your sign, so it's important to see what she's doing. She's traveling the south node in Virgo and is separating from a conjunction with the south node. So perhaps there was something that you have to let go that has to do with you, yourself, your body, and how other people see you. So this is also very personal for you. You could still be working with personal issues that have to do with you and your relationships with the fifth house. This is where the south node is. This is a very complicated lunation for you, Taurus, and the only way to find out how this is affecting you personally is through a personal reading. Book me at rachel-mayo.com. Gemini, ascendant, sun, or moon. This lunation is happening in your 11th house. This is where you're going to have culminations and endings. The 11th house is a happy house, and this is because the 11th house rewards all the work that we did in the 10th house, making this house the house of promotions, receiving accolades, awards, recognition among your peers. This is also the house that rules over the groups that we belong to, the social media platforms that we are members of. It also rules over our elder siblings, our aunties, and our uncles. And most of all, it rules over benefactors, people who are there to help us achieve our goals, perhaps finance our business ideas. So if you've been working on a project or you've been working really hard at work, this is the area where you're going to get the recognition from others. You're going to be revered in some way. Gemini and Aries form a sextile aspect. A sextile aspect needs to be activated by taking action. Take advantage of the energy of the opportunities that are going to be brought your way. If you don't use this energy, you don't take action, this energy is going to dissipate. Sextile aspect is really not applicable in this area of the 11th house, because whatever you're culminating at this time is going to be something that you've already worked on in the past. You're not beginning the work now. This is an awards area. So depending on the other aspects in your chart, it could be a good culmination or a bad culmination. It just all depends on what you sowed at the solar eclipse in Aries 6 months ago. This is definitely the area of you reap what you sow. 11th house also rules over our hopes, dreams, and wishes. Some of you may be ending something in that area. Perhaps you realize that you're too old for a certain dream that you've held on to and it's time to let it go. While others are going to choose to walk away from a relationship because of past disagreements, or perhaps just choosing to disagree and separating. This could be because you and your friend cannot see eye to eye and it's time to move on. While others will be removing themselves from certain social media platforms because they just don't feel that they belong there anymore. Your ruling planet Mercury is currently transiting the sign of Scorpio and bringing up old things, bringing up old information. Old information that could be quite secretive, and this information could be about things that you've probably even kept from yourself. And because Mercury rules you, it's saying that you have to take action. You have to do something with the information that is going to be revealed or the information that you discover. The other sign that you rule is Virgo, where Venus is currently transiting, the planet that rules the sign of Libra, where the sun is currently transiting. So that is the south node. There is something that you're working on to release. And the only way to get a really clear picture of what is being activated here in your own personal chart is through a personal reading. You can book me at rachel-mayo.com. Cancer, ascendant, sun, or moon. This lunation is happening in your 10th house. This is the area where you're going to be ending something. There will be culminations, and there will be major culminations because the 10th house is an angle house. And when an angle house is activated, it activates all the other angles in your chart. This lunation could absolutely change your life. 10th house is a public house. It's the house that is at the top of our chart. So whatever is happening now is going to be known by others. It's going to be seen by others. The 10th house rules over our public self, our public image, the work that we do, how other people see us, the general public. It also rules over our bosses, our parents. It's a parental axis, mostly the most dominant parent. That could be the father or the mother. It just depends on your chart or how you grew up. It also rules over other authority figures and the government. Cancer, if you've not been happy with your job or with your bosses or with the contract that you signed, at your work. This could be the time that you decide to quit your job, or for some of you, it could be the time that you are let go and you have to find new employment. Some of you will see this ending in a personal relationship with a parent or perhaps a spouse. Essentially, this means that some of you could be ending a marriage and you become divorced. Others could be becoming parents, changing their status, changing their public status that way, while others could be becoming a widow. If your parent is old and aging, this could be the time that they transition to the other side. Whatever is ending at this time, Cancer, is something that is very personal and tied to who you are, your identity, your status to the world. There is a conclusion and culmination at this time, and perhaps you're being very decisive about it. Your ruling planet, the moon, the luminary, is always involved in all lunations. So all lunations are very personal and affect you intensely. So you could be feeling quite triggered and emotional at the time of this lunation. And the reason why you'll be feeling quite triggered is because Jupiter is currently transiting your sign. Jupiter is in square aspect to Mercury, who is also squaring Pluto. This is massive. It's going to add to the intensity of the things that you discover, the information that is revealed. This aspect is going to have people talking. And because Pluto is transiting in a sign of the people, it's going to, this information affects the people. It affects mankind altogether. The moon, your ruling planet, transiting the sign of Aries, is going to make you feel quite angry or irritated or feisty in some way. You might feel a bit emotionally detached with all the things that are happening at this time. It might all be just too much. And the ruler of the lunation, Mars, is in the sign of Scorpio, where he's dominant. Scorpio is a sign that trines you. And you sextile the sign of Virgo, which is also being activated. The only way to find out how this is going to affect you personally, according to your placements, is through a personal reading. Book a reading with me at rachel-mayo.com. Take advantage of the discount of $30 off of 2 readings. It's a limited time offer, so book now. Leo, ascendant, sun or moon. This lunation is happening in your 9th house. This is where you're going to have endings and culminations. Leo is going to have a better experience with this lunation because you're a fire sign and you trine the sign of Aries. So whatever is coming to an ending or culmination is going to happen effortlessly. Whatever is decayed and needs to be released is going to fall off effortlessly. It's probably known for a while that this has come to its ending and you have to let go. It will be an easy letting go. The 9th house rules over our higher belief system, and this higher belief system is usually passed down to us from our elders or people who we look up to, like our professors, teachers, priests. This is the area that also rules over universities, churches, foreign lands. It also rules over judges, law and order. The 9th house is the justice system. This is where we legalize something. This is the area that rules over a marriage license, driver's license, green cards, citizenship. It is a legal contractual house. If you've been traveling in a foreign land, this is the time that your stay there is concluding and you're probably leaving that land going back home. If you've applied for a visa, a green card, or citizenship, or any other type of licensing or document, this is the time that you'll be getting that document, or perhaps not, depending on all the other transits that you're having in your chart personally. It doesn't mean everybody is going to have a positive outcome, but most likely a lot of you are. Your ruling planet, the sun, is always part of any lunation, so you tend to feel all lunations personally. And the sun is involved in the opposition to the moon, the definition of a full moon. This is going to feel very personal for you in the houses that this lunation is falling. On a positive note, if you've been wanting to go to a foreign land and have applied for a visa, this is the time that some of you will be getting that visa, some of you will be getting that citizenship. This could be the time that you're concluding some type of study at university and getting your degree. If you'd like to find out how this is going to affect you according to your own natal chart, I suggest that you book a reading with me at rachel-mayo.com. Take advantage of the $30 off of 2 readings that I'm offering. It's a limited time offer. Book now. Virgo ascendant, sun or moon. This lunation is happening in your 8th house. This is where you're going to have culminations and endings. The 8th house is a very personal house because it's a psychological house. This is the area where we keep secrets, other people's secrets, and secrets that we keep from ourselves. The 8th house rules over sex, death, taxes, and transformation. It's a very intimate house. This is the house of deep bonding, and making it the house of shared resources. It rules over other people's money, financial windfalls like lotteries, inheritances. If you've been paying a mortgage for many years, this could be the time that you're paying off your mortgage or a car loan or any other type of loan. You could also be paying off your credit cards. If you've been dating someone for a while and this relationship has been rocky, this could be the time that it comes to an ending. So somebody could be moving out of the house, ending the advantage that you had with shared resources. If you've been going through a divorce, this could be the time that the divorce is concluded and your shared resources or assets are being divided at this time. Essentially, that means that you're losing that support that you had with shared finances, shared resources. This also means that intimacy in the relationship is ending, the sexual part of the relationship. Virgo is not aspecting this lunation, but your ruling planet Mercury is going to be transiting in conjunction with Mars, the ruler of this lunation. So this means that some of you Virgos are going to be perhaps quite feisty at the time of this lunation. You have some things to say, you want to speak your mind about really deep, intimate issues and perhaps other people's money. So there might be some type of standoff. It's going to be good confrontation. You're going to be standing up for yourself somehow. Simply because Virgo and Scorpio have a sextile aspect. This means you're going to need to take advantage of any opportunities that come up as a result of the culminations and endings that are happening at this time. The sign of Virgo is also highlighted at this time because Venus, the ruler of Libra, where the sun is currently transiting, is transiting in your sign at around 21 degrees. This is important because this is an area of release. So as you can see, this is a complex lunation. There are a lot of factors, a lot of things that are being triggered at the same time. It's quite messy, and the only way you're going to find out how this is affecting you personally is through a personal reading. Take advantage of the discounts that I have on readings. You can use this discount twice. Book me at rachel-mayo.com. Libra ascendant, sun or moon. This lunation is happening in your 7th house. This is where you're going to have endings and culminations. The 7th house is an angle house, and when an angle house is activated, it activates all the other angles in your chart. This means that this lunation could absolutely change your whole life. The 7th house rules over our relationships, our written contracts, business contracts, written contracts like marriage. Anything that you have to do with the other person is ruled by the 7th house. It also rules over our open enemy. As we all know, you could sign a business contract with somebody, get married to someone, and then because of a disagreement, you end up being open enemies because you're ending a business partnership or you're ending a marriage. Some of the issues that are going to be highlighted and brought for ending or culmination are issues that may have started at the solar eclipse in Aries 6 months ago. This could make the endings feel quite fated and karmic. If your marriage has not been working out for a while because of one person not honoring the agreement of the marriage, this could be the time that you perhaps are asking for a divorce and you want to let go of this marriage. And I say you because your ruling planet Venus is transiting the south node. So you are making decisions to let go in this area, wherever that house rules in your chart. You could also be deciding to end a business partnership or anything that you have in agreement with another person. So although this is an ending, a full moon, a culmination, it could also be a new beginning simply because you're getting divorced from your partner, you're ending a business relationship. This means that the area is open for something new to begin. Your ruling planet is not aspecting this lunation, but Venus is important because it rules you and also rules Libra, where the sun is currently transiting, making this somewhat personal to you. The only way you can find out how this is affecting you according to your own natal birth chart is through a reading. There are a lot of things that are being triggered and they're very karmic because of the south, or because of you transiting the south node, you bringing up past issues, past disagreements that have not held up well over time. Perhaps the relationships in this area have just reached a point of decay and expiration, and it's time to release and let go. For Libra, even though this lunation is happening in the 7th house, highlighting another person across from you, you're busy dealing with the south node, past issues. And the ruler of this lunation, Mars, who rules the other person from you, because this is a relationship axis and Mars rules Aries, they might be very upset at this time because Mars is involved in a challenging square aspect to Pluto at the time of this lunation. As I said earlier, this lunation is very complex, but also very complex, but also very personal to you, Libra. Scorpio ascendant, sun or moon. This lunation is happening in your 6th house. This is where you're going to be having endings and culminations. The 6th house is also a very important house, and this is because it rules what we do on a daily basis. Our diet, our exercise regimen, our health. Some people need to take medication on a daily basis. It also rules over our work and our co-workers, our work environment. This is the house that rules over our known enemy. And I always say our co-workers are not our friends. And this is because if there's an opening for a promotion or extra hours, we're going to have to compete against our co-worker, making them our known enemy. So if you've had an ongoing lawsuit against your employer or perhaps a co-worker, this could be the time that that lawsuit is being concluded and you are possibly getting a win, or perhaps not. And I may say perhaps not, simply because your ruling planet Mars is the ruler of this lunation. Mars is in a confrontation with your other ruling planet Pluto. They're in a square aspect, a challenging aspect. For some people, this could actually feel like an internal struggle because these are your ruling planets boxing each other at this time. But somehow you're still feeling in control, like this whole situation is quite manageable. Mercury has just entered your sign and is going to meet up with Mars at some point. This is going to be a challenging aspect because you're going to become quite vocal about the things that you discover, also because of the square aspect from Mercury to Pluto. This is going to be quite transformational and you'll be speaking your mind at this time, whether people like it or not. And as a result of that, you'll be taking action on the things that you're going to be discovering. For some of you with bad eating habits, this could be the time of culmination, ending of a bad diet, because perhaps your doctor tells you that you need to change your diet because they've discovered something is wrong with your health, something is wrong with your body, and you need to start a more nutritious diet. The 6th house also rules over rent and tenancy. And if you have your own business, it's going to rule the people that you employ, the people that work for you. So some of you will be having problems with your landlord, your tenant, or your workers. There will be some type of confrontation, some type of information revealed and leading to an ending. If there's anything that is old and decayed, it's reached its expiration date, this is the time you're going to decide to toss it out. This house rules over our daily habits, our good habits or our bad habits. So if you have a problem with drinking too much, smoking, doing drugs, this is the time that you may realize that it's time to end these habits because they're impacting your health in a very negative way. It's time to take decisive action. Some of you will decide to quit cold turkey. If you have a pet that's old or it's been sick, this could be the time that your pet transitions. So Scorpio has a lot of power at this time because Mars is transiting your sign, making you feel confident and dominant to say anything that needs to be said. I said what I said. But at the same time, you're having this internal conflict because Pluto, your other ruling planet, is also squaring you at the time of this lunation, and so is Mercury. Mercury ruling the south node in Virgo, where the ruler of your descendant, Venus, is currently transiting. So this means that there's something that is highlighted about your 7th house of contracts with others that needs to be released or is ending naturally because this is a karmic area. The south node is where the garbage or the trash is taken out, or the things that are no longer useful in our life. This lunation is very complex and has a lot of aspects or planets that are being activated at the same time. And the best way to find out how it's going to affect you personally is through a private reading. So take advantage of the discount that I'm offering, $30 off of 2 readings. It's a limited time offer, so please book now. Sagittarius, ascendant, sun or moon. This lunation is happening in your 5th house. This is the area where you're going to have an ending or some type of culmination. Sagittarius is a fire sign, so this means that you're going to trine this moon, making it possibly bringing positive endings. The 5th house rules over our creative ability and our greatest creation being our children. It rules over romance, entertainment. It also rules over luck. And this luck is from a past life. We don't have to work for this luck in this life. We already earned it. So this luck is going to be activated, making some of you quite lucky at the time of this lunation. Especially because your ruling planet Jupiter is exalted in the sign of Cancer at this time. This is important because Jupiter is aspecting a Mercury, who is also in conjunction with the ruler of this lunation, Mars, in the sign of Scorpio. Unfortunately, Jupiter is square Mercury and also square Pluto, meaning there will be some deep revelations and transformations. If a romantic relationship has not been working out, this could be the time that you're choosing to end this relationship. If there's been an issue going on with your children or one of your children, this is when this issue is going to be concluded. If you are pregnant, be very careful and be prepared, because lunations tend to bring things to a culmination, meaning your pregnancy could come to an end. You will be giving birth around the time of this lunation. Other positive, and if you've been having trouble conceiving, perhaps this could be the lunation that eliminates whatever blockage or problem that has been preventing you from having a successful pregnancy. This could be resolved at this time, and you'll be able to be cleared, and you'll be able to get pregnant. The 5th house rules over gambling. You need luck to win a lottery. So perhaps some of you are going to have a surprise win at this time. And I say some of you because it depends on how this lunation is aspecting all the other planets in your chart. And the best way to find out how this is really working out for you is through a personal reading. Book a reading with me at rachel-mayo.com. Take advantage of the $30 discount off of 2 readings. It's a limited time offer, so book now. And since the 5th house rules over our creativity, some of us make money using our creativity, our talents. This could be the time that some of you conclude a business that you may have opened in the past. Perhaps it's just not bringing in the money that you thought you would be able to make. So a small business could be shutting down at this time. Some of you will be ending some type of entertainment that you've been participating in. Perhaps you realize that it's detrimental to you. Perhaps you've been over partying, or some of you could be involved in multiple relationships and you're not finding any meaning in having all these indulgences. So this could be a positive culmination in that area. Capricorn, ascendant, sun or moon. This lunation is happening in your 4th house. The 4th house is an angle house, and when an angle house is activated, it activates all the other angles in your chart, meaning that this lunation could absolutely change your life. This is where we feel naked and exposed. We're usually in our natural self, no makeup, no fancy clothing or anything. We're just ourselves and comfortable. So this area is making this house an emotional house, because it rules your home, your mother, your family, your ancestors. It also rules over your deep emotional resentments that you may have towards these people. The 4th house is also another house of endings, giving this lunation almost like a double meaning. If one of your parents are older or they've been sick, this could be the time that they're transitioning to the other side. And of course, this is going to be a deeply emotional event. There will be a vacuum in the family. If you've been living in your house for many years, perhaps it's deteriorating and you don't want to spend the money that is needed in order to renovate it, this could be the time that most of you are deciding to sell this home or are concluding a sale and you're now moving out of an old family home or just an old home. And for those that have been doing renovations in their home, this could be the time that the renovations are successfully concluded. The fourth house rules our home, but deeply our homeland, where we were born. Some of you could be deciding to leave your homeland and move to another country, while others who are living in a foreign country could be deciding to come back home. The fourth house ruling over our deep resentments and emotions, this could be the time that you're ending old arguments, especially if you cannot reconcile with the other person, come to an agreement on some deeply personal issues. Some of you will be deciding to end this emotional trauma and do something about it by seeking some type of counseling. Capricorn, this lunation is going to feel really personal and intense for you simply because the moon rules an angle house for you. An angle house, which is a very deep and personal house. So if you find yourself feeling quite emotional, it's normal under the circumstances of this lunation. And if something that is really dear and personal ends at this time, it's quite karmic. And for you, it could have something to do with your fifth house, Virgo, where Venus is currently transiting and doing some releasing on that end. Ruling planet Saturn is not aspecting this lunation. Saturn is transiting the sign of Pisces. He's transiting retrograde, making a really positive aspect to Jupiter. That's going to be near exact towards the end of this month. If you haven't watched my previous video on this trine aspect, I suggest that you go back and watch it because it's going to bring a lot of positivity depending on the areas where these two planets are transiting in your natal chart. If you'd like to find out how this is going to affect you personally, I suggest that you book a reading with me at rachel-mayo.com. Take advantage of the $30 off of 2 readings discount that I have. Aquarius, ascendant, sun or moon. This lunation is happening in your 3rd house. This is where you will have culminations and endings. The 3rd house rules over our immediate environment. Anything that you see where you are, your neighborhood, small gadgets that you have in your home, your computer, your phone, your remote control. It also rules your vehicle, your modes of transportation around your neighborhood. Most of all, the 3rd house rules over our mind, our thought process, negative or good, our learning ability, our ability to communicate with others, or whatever we're using to do this communication. The 3rd house also rules over our siblings and our neighbors. It also rules over our childhood friends that we grew up with in our neighborhood, the ones that we went to grade school with. And this is why it also rules over basic education. It also rules over trade schools where you learn a new skill using your hands, making it the house that also rules over writing. If you've had an ongoing quarrel with a sibling or a neighbor, this could be the time that this argument is being concluded and everybody is speaking their mind and saying what they need to say to the other person. However, I think this will be an amicable ending where people agree to disagree or agree to just end the relationship because either it's become toxic or you just don't see any future together. And this is because Aquarius aspects the sign of Aries with a sextile aspect. So if the two of you make an effort to meet each other halfway, this can be an amicable ending. And perhaps both of you are just going to agree that these issues are old and they're toxic and they just need to be released. If there's something that's been going on with your sibling, perhaps they've been ill and they're meeting challenges with their health, this could be the time that maybe your sibling transitions or transitions to the other side, or perhaps it could also be, and it will be a release, a positive release because maybe they were suffering. And for others, it could just be old issues, old arguments that you've had with a sibling that conclude at this time. If you've been involved in any type of learning process, perhaps learning a new language or a skill, this could be the time that you're concluding these courses and feeling quite good about yourself. And for those that have been holding on to negative thoughts or some bad type of feelings that may have started at the time of the solar eclipse 6 months ago. This could be the time that you're deciding to just let these feelings go. Start thinking about life or things in a much more positive way. Your ruling planet Saturn is not aspecting this lunation. However, Saturn is aspecting Jupiter in a really positive aspect. I've spoken about this aspect, trine aspect, in my previous video. This is an aspect that could be absolutely life-changing for you, Aquarius. I suggest you go back and watch it. Your other ruling planet, Uranus, is also not aspecting this lunation. This lunation might not be very personal to you. It could be that it's the things that are happening in your immediate environment, the things that are ruled by your immediate environment, coming to an ending or a culmination, and therefore affecting you indirectly. So for some of you, this is what could happen. Perhaps your phone is old and needs upgrading. It could die out at this time and you need a new one. It could be your computer that is old and dying out. For others, it's your car that maybe has something that breaks down and needs to be fixed, or it's totally totaled and needs to be, and you need to replace it with a new vehicle. And since the third house rules your immediate environment, it could be that you're moving out of your neighborhood. As a result of this lunation, you're concluding your existence in your immediate environment and it's changing. You're going to be in a new immediate environment. Even if you were not planning to move until this point, some of the events that will occur perhaps in your neighborhood or your neighbor or anything to do with your immediate environment is going to result in you making a decision to move. If you want to know how this is going to affect you personally, I suggest that you book a reading with me. Take advantage of the $30 off of 2 readings that I'm running. It's a limited time offer, so please book now. Pisces ascendant, Sun and Moon. This lunation is happening in your 2nd house. This is where you're going to have culminations and endings. The 2nd house can be very personal simply because this is a house that rules over the things that we love and value, our properties, our possessions. This is the house of luxuries and indulgence. This is a limited time offer, so book now. It also rules over the family that we create with another person, not the family that you're born into, a family that you make with a spouse, a lover, or our friends that we look at as a family because they've been in our life for a very long time. And nobody wants to let go of our prized possessions or our family members. 2nd house also rules over our earning ability. So this could really be about finances, how you make your money, how you earn your money. There could be a culmination and ending with that. If you have your own business and it's not been working out, or you're in business partnership with someone, this could be the time that this arrangement is going to dissolve and you have to probably find another way of earning a living. The 2nd house rules over what we put in our mouth and what comes out of our mouth. So essentially this is what we say, what we eat, and perhaps what goes in our nose because it's part of the face. The 2nd house does rule over the face, everything on the face. So if you have some bad habits of eating certain things that you know are not good for you, they're unhealthy, something could show you that you need to change your eating habit. And if you've been wanting to speak your truth about something, say something out to other people, this could be the time that you're going to speak your mind and let your true feelings out. The 2nd house opposes the 8th house, so there's possibly another person that you're dealing with in contract, and this contract could be through intimacy, a business agreement. All these things are being highlighted at this time, and if there's anything that is old and decaying and needs to be terminated, it's going to be released at the time of this lunation. Pisces, if you've been suffering from a lack of self-esteem, this could be the time that you decide to do something about these negative feelings, and whatever it is that you've been insecure about, bring it up to the surface, talk about it, and release it. Your ruling planet Jupiter is not aspecting this lunation. However, Jupiter is aspecting Mercury in a square aspect. Mercury is in the sign of Scorpio, where the ruler of this lunation, Mars, is currently transiting. So there will be a lot of information released at this time, and it's going to affect you deeply on a mental level. You're going to be involved in some kind of conversation. This conversation could have something to do with something that is something to do with other people's money, secrets being revealed, and therefore making you have to say something, have to use your voice in some way, use your platform in some way to be heard. The lunation is saying it's time to speak up, speak your truth. Your other ruling planet, Neptune, is not aspecting this lunation. However, Neptune is transiting the sign of the moon in Aries, too far away to aspect this lunation. Pisces, there's a lot of planets that are being activated at the time of this lunation. Your ruling planet, Jupiter, is exalted in the sign of Cancer. So you're feeling quite confident about what you need to say because of the square aspect from Mercury, who's close by the ruler of this lunation. The only way to find out how this is affecting you according to your own birth chart is by getting a personal reading. You can book me at rachel-mayo.com. Take advantage of the $30 off of 2 readings. It's a limited time offer, so please book now.